Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Life is Better with Music with Gavin and Mitchell. We have a lot to cover today.
Yes,
As you
sir.
may have known, this last week was DCI Texas Tour,
Yeehaw.
and there's a lot of things that went down this week. So, just kind of an overview of this episode, so you can see what to look forward to as we get through the episode. Is obviously we'll cover our normal DCI stuff for this week and what we expect throughout the rest of the season, score-wise, placement-wise, performance-wise, all of the above. We're going to talk about some of the schools we've been working with. Obviously not release any information, just kind of talk about how we've been rehearsing them and stuff like that. Like I've run drill or this and that or stuff like that, but obviously keeping their show confidential. And then we're going to talk about Bands of America towards the end of the episode because
Ooh.
we need to start talking about Bands of America. We're approaching the start of, right now we have band camps going on for schools all over the nation, and throughout the next couple weeks we'll have more, and with school starting. So what better yet to talk
The first
about?
competition for BOA is September 17th.
Like we're pushing up onto it. You know, season 1 here with DCI ends technically like August 16th or 17th, like that, since we'll record the last episode. But then that's a month until the first BOA competition. So we have some big things coming, but that's the gist of what's going to be talked about today. Last week's episode was a little short, just because we were rushing to get some stuff done, and our guests did not have as much time as we would have hoped, but that's okay. We just talked about everything we could and got all the information out that we needed to. But let's talk about Hades real quick. So the last 2 days, I sadly haven't gotten to work on it. But if I did, part 3 would have been done. Yesterday, I got home. I was up since 3 a.m., went to my first job, got off 3 hours early, went to my first high school I work with. Then I went to the second one I work with, and I didn't get home till like 6. And then I had a bunch of stuff I had to do when I got home. Next thing I know, it's 8 o'clock, and I'm like, I have to wake up at like 6:30. And I remember I sat down at the computer, and I passed out. I fell asleep in this chair last night, and I remember like hearing the front door open, and I woke up, and I moved onto the bed, and I was like, that's it. And my fiance was like, hey, I brought home food. Do you want anything? I'm like, no, like
I'm
I
going to
don't want
bed.
anything. So I was tired, so I didn't get to touch part 3 yesterday, which is my original composition. For Hades, I'll tell you kind of what the ballad's about. Throughout the show, we have a storyline of Hades, but the ballad specifically is you're kind of exploring this underworld that you found, and you're starting to notice all of the misery throughout it, and you're getting the realization like, I gotta get out. And then that kind of leads into part 4, where it's like the search to get out, and then the end of the show is like the battle and all that. But I don't want to release everything. We got a month and a little over a month until that comes out, roughly. Obviously, if I need some more time, we'll adjust everything. But this week and next week and the following week are just busy. I plan to get the whole show done before Indy. We'll see. But so it looks like we may possibly maybe have to change some of the release dates very slightly, which sucks. But I don't want to rush something and put out a poorer product than if
No.
I were to take my time on it. But then what we would do is, say we push everything throughout March instead, then we'll have the second collection just be 4 shows that will lead us into 2024, basically. 2 months per show. That's a lot better than one. But yeah, no, I didn't get to work on it today because I didn't get home till about 6. Had to prep for this, do some other things, write some choreography for the school I work with. So sadly, I didn't get to touch it tonight either. But where it is, I know I got off on a little ramble, but where it is right now is everything is like done. I have to write 8 more measures of winds. I have the melody and the counter melody, so it's like low brass. I basically have to write and low winds, and then I need to just add basically the drum line in the hit and some pit here and there that I didn't get to add yet. But it's basically done. I could just cram it all out tomorrow, which is probably what I'm going to try to do, and then start part 4 tomorrow or Friday at least by the latest. Thursday by the latest, sorry. But the show is coming together. Part 1 and 2, rough draft's all done. I'll have to come back after the whole show is done and fix things. Rewrite things if I don't fully like it, how it's sitting in my head. I listen to it every day. I'm like maybe. And then the next day I'm like, oh no, I do like that. So we'll see. But hopefully I can get done before Indy, and then I can start on the elements and get that show rolling. I'm just personally, I'm getting more. I'm getting faster as I go. It's just I haven't fully like arranged like a full piece, which is 2 of the movements are from like the same piece basically. So it takes time. Any arranger will say it takes time. So
yep, I've
now learned that the hard way. But Hades is in a good spot. Release dates may change. We'll see. If they do change, it's probably going to be the last 2 or 3 that change mainly. But we'll see. So website stuff. It's updating all the time. We have all the social medias sharing and promoting throughout the day. Anything DCI as of right now, or keeping you up to date, like when the next episode's coming out. And again, we got what 2.5 weeks till pre-orders close, day after finals. So again, if you want them, they won't go on personal sale, like non-pre-order, till probably about September. So sales will cut off August 14th, and you won't be able to get it till like September something. So if you want to pre-order the shirt, tonight is the time to do it. Or today if you're watching it in the morning. Who knows? But yeah, so let's cover some DCI Texas tour. So
yeehaw.
Texas tour. Busy week for anything drum corps. Last week we didn't get to cover DCI Broken Arrow scores because we just weren't out late enough. So
do we have that right here, or do I need to pull it up?
I have them.
Oh, lit. Oh, there they are. Top one on your left.
Hide this, but it's not cooperating with me. It never does. There we go. As soon as I open it, then it does. Puts the big gray box on my screen, and then thanks.
Cool.
I just bit my tongue. Ouch. So we didn't get to touch on DCI Broken Arrow. So let's look at DCI Broken Arrow. This was last Tuesday night, right?
A week from today.
Last Tuesday night. Anything like big we see here besides for Boston being above Vanguard, so is Coates and Crown?
Not really. Nothing really shocking and absolutely utterly groundbreaking. I mean, the Blue Stars are beating the Cavies right now.
Yeah, I was about to say Blue Stars are above the Cavies, and then the Knights are 3 points behind Cavies, so I don't know. We'll talk about some finals bubble stuff while we get through these scores.
Yeah, once we go through these are
I don't.
These are
I don't
interesting.
know. I think my estimate at the start of this season, start of this season may have been right. Grossman kind of on the bottom down there, but
We'll see.
we'll see. I mean, Knights is kind of falling apart right now, which is sad. But now we have DCI Denton. Um, Crown came on top, but only by point 0.3. So that's just a couple music or visual ticks that kind of set that apart. So that's a very close performance. Um, and then Bluecoats and Vanguard were close. But then you have Cadets. What are you doing, Mitchell?
Honestly, I'm fine with this. I'm
Like,
gonna be honest. I'm
I'm
fine with
just.
it.
Well, I mean, look, so then Mandarins and Phantom, look at that. The whole point apart. But,
Yeah. And then Blue Knights and Colts.
oh, yeah, see, now this is what I wanted to talk about.
Razor thin right here.
Colts, they're looking like they're in finals right now.
They are.
They are in the finals right now, and I would never thought I would be saying that this year, honestly.
No.
If Spirit was out this year, I don't think I'd be saying that.
No.
I think Spirit would have finally made finals this year if they were fielding a core.
It would
So
depend on the show. It'd have to really depend on the show.
yeah, just make sure it wasn't like a part 5, right?
God.
Since they do
Anything past part 2 is enough.
anything past part 1 is enough. What are you talking about?
True. Fair point. I can't
Unless
argue.
it's like a specific show. Oh, I went backwards. Hold on. And now,
Come on, Gavin. Why are you going backwards?
DCI, Round Rock.
I've competed with them. Round Rock.
Whatever. Yeah. It was, what? That's the year you got 4th place, 5th place.
And the year I won.
Yeah, and the year you
They
won.
came.
But
They came
let's talk,
17. They came 7. They come every other year. It's
let's talk
Texas
about the
years.
most recent time now, like that you performed with them. What happened?
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
This is Round Rock. We have Cavies on top, but with this core list, you would expect that. Troopers above Madison Scouts.
I just want to say some foreshadowing. Let's just keep in mind, Troopers is at 74.8 a week ago.
I know. Yeah. Troopers is back in some heat this year, man. I don't know.
Their percussion's on it, dude.
Like they just came out. Like, they started their tour like late, last show to come out and perform debut, and then they're just like they're climbing up that ladder. They are going. It's like
They're
there's a
knocking on
house
the
on
door.
fire. Yeah, there's a house on fire, and they're climbing up. Like they are rescuing children right now. That's how
The
fast they're going.
top 12 is not set in stone. 10 through
Um,
14 is not set in stone yet.
Oh heck no, DCI Houston. So we have Boston didn't come out this night, but
Nope.
we got Devils and Crown. What is that? A little more than a point apart? Yeah,
Point and a
Like-
half, yeah.
yeah, point and a half apart. Bluecoats underneath. I don't see Bluecoats making top 3. Honestly, it would have to be Crown or Boston. Just absolutely,
Losing it, yeah.
yeah. I think they'll be 4th above Vanguard, but
Hey, you
And I
never
think-
know.
I
Maybe
think-
someone else is 5th or 4th. I don't know, dude.
I don't know. People are climbing and falling. I don't even know anymore.
Who knows?
But now look at this.
Okay, I want to specifically talk about that because one of the
Look at
judges,
Mandarins too. All 4 of you.
the GE judge, had it out for us that night. He put us in 7th in GE, like dead last, and I'm like, come on, dude. There's no way that's 7th place in terms of GE. Get that out of here.
He hates the. We gotta go.
Hey. Okay, narration, I get it, but at the same time, I will say it gets a little bit over the top.
Mm-hmm. I mean, those are all some pretty close scores. Like you and Blue Stars 0.2, Cavies and Blue Stars 1.1.
Yeah, something like that. And then Mandarins is point one behind Cavies, yeah.
So like that's some tight scores right there. That is
Oh, most definitely.
so that's a scary that's a scary. I keep grabbing my mouse, but my mouse isn't connected. um Now we have DCI Bakersfield. So here open class, um Vanguard Cadets on top. Then you have right after Blue Devils B, it just kind of jumps down.
Yep. Which is usually that's
Yeah,
usually what happens, just because Vanguard Cadets and BDB are just they're
I mean,
there.
they're feeding cores, so um,
Into
they.
two of the top three cores, top four cores in the world. So,
Huh, well, I don't know about that now, but
well, yeah, I know, I know.
Vanguard.
I don't agree with that statement either.
Another open class, Fresno, Vanguard Cadets still above, but then Columbians broke a 70. Um, and then we have Blue Devil C down there.
Blue Devil C is more of just it's a really younger kids core. Like they have a lot of really young kids, and that's how they
Hmm.
get started in their activity.
Yeah, so it's a double feeding core.
And then they move you up to BDB, and once you do a couple years at BDB, then you go up to the A core, and it's like then you go compete for a world championship.
Could you imagine if they called the Blue Devils A?
BDA, no thank you.
Like you're they're like in second place, Blue Coats. Your world champion is Blue Devils A. Like
That would be awful.
like that's just
That'd be
uh-uh.
awful. That would be horrendous.
So let's get into San
All right,
Antonio
big
here.
fish here. Come on, this is the one I wanted to talk
So
about.
this is part one on these scores. Boston in second place.
Still a 2 point gap.
Still a 2 point gap, but we are knocking on that door. We may not get in, but we are knocking. We
Yeah.
are we are there. Like we knocked
Yeah.
on Vanguard's door. Grim Reaper, got him. Blue Coats, Grim Reaper, got him. Crown, Grim Reaper. You saw that meme, right?
Oh, of course I did.
And we just kept knocking on everyone's door. Now, they have triple locks on them, but we're gonna try and pick them. We're gonna
I
try
don't know,
and pick
dude.
them.
I don't know. As far as I've seen from BD, I think it's undefeated. I think we see an undefeated run from them.
I hope not. If Boston can win this year, it would be the most satisfying thing for East Coast
Hmm.
and for all of Crusader Nation, and then saddening to me because I was supposed to be there, and I should be on that field. But
Well,
money. Um,
money, money, money.
but then like Vanguard, like that's not what I would expect from them.
No,
Like just this year in general, I thought they were gonna come out guns blazing. You know,
I don't like their book this year. I don't
oh,
like
I
their show
don't
this
either.
year. It's just
But
not for me.
and then cadets, like I mean, I think cadets could take Vanguard over.
I do too.
If cadets keep gradually going up, I think they can kick down
I think by Allentown
Vanguard
we
to
take them
6.
over, and then we don't let go
Hmm.
from there.
So, and then as we go, we creep down the line. We got
I
Blue
want to point
Devils.
out the 1.5 gap that we opened up.
Hmm.
I'm telling you that one GE judge tanked us that night in Houston.
Yeah, with Blue Stars.
Yeah.
Mandarins and Blue Stars are still pretty close, and
Yeah.
Cabby, so those three are still pretty close. But they just did not like cadets that night.
No,
Um,
they did not like
yeah,
cadets at Houston, but
and,
they like them here, and I'm fine with that because this is a bigger show. This is a more accurate representation, probably the better judging.
and Blue Coats are so close to that 90, but not
Man,
quite there.
I
Now
don't know
part
how I feel about
two.
Blue this year because when I've had conversations with my friends about it and Kevin as well, I think there's a peak, and every show has a peak. It just
Mhm.
depends on when the show peaks.
Well, now let's talk about this real quick. Phantom, Blue Knights, Colts. Crossman's
Okay.
out of it right now.
Okay.
That's what I said.
By point three.
But that's
Okay.
what I said. But look at Troopers, dude.
Dang,
If
they're back in.
if Crossman stays out of finals and Blue Knights drops out, Troopers is gonna go in.
That's what it's looking like.
And we said that there's not a chance that two cores could drop. It would be a very low chance, but it's looking like it could happen.
It could happen.
Night when we're in Lucas Oil, those 3 nights, like, whoo.
We got to figure that one out.
Like, I'm gonna be on the edge of my seats
Oh,
when
dude.
they say finals, like who's in finals, because as it gets lower and lower, I'm gonna be like, I haven't heard Blue Knights or Crossman. Oh, there's Colts, and if they say Troopers, dude, I'm gonna lose my mind.
If they say Troopers, I'm walking out and being like, God has answered my prayer. I want chaos.
Okay, you want chaos.
I am a creature of chaos.
But everyone like under, like 2 points, 2 points, 1 point, 2 points, 1 point, like roughly. So right now, like obviously Madison Scouts and Academy could possibly creep up there, but finals bubble is in between Crossman, Troopers, Colts, Blue Knights.
I want to say
it's in between those fours.
I think it's going to stay that way the entire season. I think Scouts has a good book. I just don't think it's finals worthy for me.
But I think 11 to 14 right here, that's who's gunning for the gauntlet right now.
I think Phantom's safe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Phantom's safe, but 11, 12, 13, 14 on this right here, that's the battle.
They are not. Yeah, no one is safe there.
No one's safe.
You do not want to be in 11th or 12th going into prelims.
Unless Blue Knights just jump back up all of a sudden, but I do not see that happening.
So tell me this. Is the schedule... So after you announce your prelims and you announce your semifinalist, will you announce your semifinalist? Will the time be like directly correlating to scores? So like the last person to go on is the first place core in prelims?
I think it's the same way, basically. Like that
Okay.
finals is kind of lined up. It's because, I mean, it would make more sense if they did it that way. Because you also want the bigger first place cores in the end of the day, because that's also when like everyone's there. Because if you think about it, almost any performance in drum corps, like they always have the smaller groups go first, and it kind of builds into who's top dog of that group.
Yeah.
So, but also I want to, as of right now in DCI Atlanta, Boston's going on last.
I did see that.
So,
And I don't know.
I mean,
Although-
I like it. That's
Praying to
cool.
God that the show goes on because there's just a lot of storms in this part of the country right now.
In Atlanta?
It's apparently the forecast says it might rain.
But in Atlanta,
I
it's
know.
a closed stadium.
No, it's not at Mercedes-Benz this year.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's two Atlanta shows. It's two
What?
Atlanta shows. They split the top 12 and had 6 go to one show and 6 go to
That
the
is
other.
so ridiculous. Just go to Mercedes-Benz.
They couldn't because of scheduling conflict with
Oh.
like Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean's doing a show.
Oh, whatever. That's so silly. It better not get rained out. That's a crucial
I don't like
show.
that. Yeah, it's a very crucial
But now
show.
that
I don't
it's
like that.
But now it's split up. What's the point? It's not even really DCI Atlanta anymore. It's just
It's
two
not a
different
regional
shows.
championship. It's just two different shows.
Like it's not like that. That's one of the biggest shows
You're right.
that dictates heading into finals week. So does DCI Allentown and like Akron and like all these shows that like help dictate that. That's so silly. I didn't even know about that. That is
Yeah,
so.
I figured that
aggravating.
out earlier late last week.
And then also San Antonio, open class Guardians.
Yeah,
Just a
let's go
side
Guardians.
note.
Guardians winning open class. Guardians
now we have-
sweeping open class.
No. I don't know. Sewell.
Yeah, Sewell. Yeah.
just Jersey Surf. But look, Spartans overscored them.
and they're on the same sheet.
Same
Also, I
sheet.
do want to say something. I do want to mention something. I don't know if you've heard, but Jersey Surf is kind of struggling with funds right now to get back on tour.
I
Um,
did hear about that.
yeah,
That's a
and
scary thing for anybody.
they have a donations page. They're asking for donations because so what they do is they take a break halfway through, like for like a week and a half, and then they all come back together and do the last bit of tour.
Uh huh.
And they're struggling right now just because of the gas prices, inflation with
Mm-hmm.
food, market food in grocery stores, and just the daily day-to-day cost of running a drum corps.
I
They're
mean,
struggling.
it's a thing that's
Their corps director wrote a
sadly,
letter and posted it, and they need help.
and that's the sad thing about drum corps is that's basically how corps fold, and
And I
I
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
see
see it
Jerk
fold.
fall because Jerf is a decent. I don't want to say Jerf's a feeder corps, but a lot of their members go on to march some of the best or the top East Coast core groups like
Yeah, like
Cadets and
I mean, you
Boston
could
and
more of
Carolina
a
Crown.
stepping stone corps, you can call it.
Yeah,
Um, but that's always a sad thing to see an organization struggle because like even back, I've heard stories of all the way back when Suncoast Sound folded,
yeah,
and Mr. Ford marched through there and all that jazz, and it's just like
yeah.
it's sad, especially to hear like core members don't get food sometimes, and it's like, and it's just
That's if you can't give your core members food
you
every
can't
day, you cannot
you
do a
need to
tour.
pull like you can't like I wouldn't fold, but you need to pull out of the season.
Yeah,
Like
which would
you
suck because
you
if you
need to
have the
take
members
time to
that
fix it. You need to get financially stable again. And I know COVID sucked, but like you got to do something.
you
There's
gotta do
gotta you
something.
gotta have some type of sponsor or anything. Um, but that's scary.
Yeah, and there's a page on Jersey Surf's website where you can donate. So just a little plug there if anyone wants to go donate,
Yeah, please go
please.
help Jersey Surf, because
Yes,
that's a very scary thing.
anything will
And
help.
and the thing is, one of my students, he said that he wanted to join Raiders. And,
Yeah.
I wasn't, and Owen from the old podcast, he marches with Raiders.
And
Um,
some people go Raiders, Jerf, and then to one of the top East Coast course.
yeah, and the thing is, what I warned him, I was like, listen, this is what drum corps is, and I told him a story about it. This is how rehearsals go. He wants to build up to bluecoats and all, like top 3, 5 corps. He wants to be up there, eventually Devils, and he auditioned at Raiders. Um, and I think he said he got a contract. But I kind of told him like, listen, not to hate. I'm not trying to hate. I just wanted to tell him the truth. Like these smaller cores, you need to be careful because it can get bad. If especially right now, with like all of this price stuff and inflation and gas, like it like with Jerf, like we see it right now. Like an organization is like at its knees praying for help.
Yeah.
And I just told him like you gotta be careful because it's gonna get hard mentally. That's what drum corps is. It does get hard mentally.
Oh, most
You need
definitely.
you need to have those people to talk to. And I told him like, listen, I will help you every step of the way to get into any corps you want. You know, I will help you jump from corps to corps. Like I will help you. I'll help you with mellophone. I'll help you with a visual as much as I can. But I also am gonna be like a mentor and say like, hey, be careful of where you go. And I'm not saying Raiders is like a core that you have to worry about. I'm
No,
not. I'm
no.
just saying like in general, you gotta think about cores
Smaller
funding.
cores are at risk for a lot more financial struggles just because of their nature of being smaller and not
And
having as many not having as many auditionees or members.
yeah, and the thing is, if they got more members, it'd get worse.
Well, it
Just
would and it wouldn't because you'd have more people paying tour fees.
Yeah, but tour fees can't cover all the
No,
games.
no, and you're right,
Like, if
but
you add another bus to a core,
mhm,
that's a whole nother thing right now. Like, that's
yeah,
gas, driver, like maintenance. Like, that's a whole nother
yeah,
thing. So, like, side note, like, that's just something that I kind of told him, like, hey, I'm not saying this about Raiders. I love Raiders. Like, Raiders is one of my more favorable open class cores, in my opinion, for me. Um, just because I know people in it and I do like Raiders.
yeah, I do
But,
too.
I told him, like, Raiders is a good place to start, but before you change your mind, like, kind of talk to me, or so I can kind of talk to people out in those cores and kind of see how the core's doing and such like that. And I told him, like, Colts is a great core to start at. I told him Colts, like, if you want to start, I
Well,
think
I'll
his
tell you what, if Colts having the reputation as a step up core, you can't really step up higher than the top 12.
I
That
know.
could soon be changing.
That's what I told him. I'm like, listen, Colts right now are in finals, so if you
They're
want to
gonna have
jump
a
into finals right away, in theory, then go to Colts. Like,
you're gonna have a lot more people auditioning for Colts this next audition cycle. I can tell you that much.
well, yeah, and if Troopers make finals, Troopers too.
Oh, you're gonna have a lot more people for Troopers.
So, I I'm seeing great things in the future, and then this all age the reading.
DCA reading Buccaneers, yeah, they're one of the really good ones.
So, I just wanted to throw that out there. Are they also on the same score
No, I don't
count?
think
No,
so.
I was about to say because that's a good score.
Yeah, then popping an 80, that's not. I don't think so.
Then we have DCI Nashua.
Yep, that's the
Um,
Spartans home show if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Um, Spartans, Southwind, 7th Regiment, Raiders. Um, I mean, the scores are pretty distant, except for the 3rd and 4th. But 2nd and 3, that is a gap.
Yeah,
That is a gap, all right. Um, that's like a gap that we would see, like, if Devils went up against um,
anyone
Crest.
in the top 12, yeah, or anyone in the lower top end of top 12.
So, I keep turning my phone off, but I have, like, the order of the shows here. Union City. Another open class show. Vanguard Cadets still on top.
BDB's making up ground though.
Yeah, now it's just a point. Colombians is 4.75 underneath that, and then Golden Empire,
2.5, yeah,
and then
and then 6.5 between Golden Empire and Les Stentors.
and then uh
BDC.
roughly about 5 with BDC. Um, I mean, the scores. I'm
Right.
excited to see where this goes with open class towards the end of their season.
hmm
Just because I'm interested to see how scores kind of land.
Yeah.
Another Texas show. No
Woo!
Boston. No Boston. Crown at 90. Cabbies at 86. Mandy's at 85. Then dropping down 5 points, Blue Knights. And then Colts right behind them by, what is that? 6-5?
Yeah. Yeah.
Think so, math.
Yeah. I'm
Troopers
mathing.
right behind them. Troopers is a core to look out for. Just
Yeah.
saying.
They're
Madison
coming up.
Scouts, Crest, and then Genesis. Um, I'm happy to see that Crest is kind of getting some momentum going, very slowly, but I think it's way too late.
I do too.
It's maybe next year, but I just think this year it's kind of out.
Yeah.
And then Boston over here, about at that 92.
Yeah.
Just saying, can't deny a 92, man. 92s are great.
And if we're gonna be 4 points from second place, that's fine with me.
I still think Cadets show should be ranked better, but then when you have the Vanguard and Coats
Yeah.
and Crown in between it, then it's like, okay, well, the points aren't actually that far when you think about it.
No.
Just because, we've talked about scoring bias from previous years,
hmm
but I think slowly that's kind of gone away.
I think so.
Like, I don't think any judge is really biased towards Boston this year.
No.
They're just like, okay, well, we kind of can't rank the show that much lower because they're performing it good. So,
Right.
um, Crossman exactly at an 80, and then Academy and Music City right on top of each other there. Interesting.
hmm
Um, I really wonder, like, if we took out Boston, Crown, Cadets, Cavies, Bluecoats, all the big, big name cores, just took them out for a year, what would it look like?
I think we'd have to establish who exactly we're taking out because that would impact a lot.
Devils,
Um,
Vanguard, Coats, Crown, Boston, Cavies, Cadets.
I think Mandarins would win it.
Yeah. Or who knows, maybe Phantom would come back and win.
True.
Phantom gets to have their time to shine.
I'm here for it.
And then show tonight. What is this? Is this the last Texas show tonight?
Yes.
Or second
DCI
to last, something like
McKinney. DCI
Um,
McKinney, the last Texas show.
Heck yeah.
The end of Texas, which we will have scores at 11 o'clock tonight.
And oh yeah, we probably won't get there.
No, I don't think so.
So now let's look at rankings as of tonight, not including the Texas show tonight. Obviously, let's look at the most recent. Devils, Boston, Crown, Coats, Vanguard, Cadets. Oh,
hmm
Cadets, Cavies, Mandarins, Blue Stars, Phantom. Um,
And we're still 2 pointing Cavies.
mhm.
There's a gap.
And then Blue Knights and Colts.
That whole
And then
pile of whatever
Crossman.
do with.
Well,
They
look at-
cut the gap. They cut the gap
well,
by
look
like
at-
point zero eight.
Look at that. That's even closer, dude. Blue Knights, Colts, Crossmen, and Troopers. That's all within like. Well, the top three of them are all within
11,
under
12,
a
13
point.
are less than a point, yeah. And then
And then
Troopers
Troopers,
aren't really that far behind.
they
know,
move
if they
up a
clean-
point almost every
I'll tell you what,
performance.
if they clean that show, I think they're in.
If that
they-
show gets clean, they're kicking Colts or Knights out.
Because you saw them at San Antonio, right?
Whew, I think we have a clip of that.
Dude, they were putting out fire.
Like they were.
I like what they did with the Battle Hymn in the Republic, kind of like the underlying chart.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a really cool. Like I mean, that's their core song. Just
Mhm.
because it's the Troopers, and I really love the Troopers. I've always liked the Troopers.
Me too.
I didn't like what they did in 19, and their costuming just was kind of not it. And they kind of were going through like a little bit of a tough time. But now that I like their new leadership.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this real quick. So 15 down, not making finals. No way.
I think so.
I don't think it's possible. Last week, a lot more of these cores were up in the air.
Yeah.
Now
We're
just
seeing
a
it
week,
whittled down after San Antonio.
yeah, just after 1 week when the scores got equaled out, basically,
Mhm.
completely different. We only have 2 cores that haven't been in finals. Colts and Troopers, that haven't been in finals the last couple of years. That could make it.
Mhm.
Crossman, as of right now, is out, and Troopers is right under it, but under a point. So,
Hey, who knows?
a couple ticks, either way, could slide on up.
I do want to talk about Blue Knights though, because I really don't like the show design this year. which I've never really said about Blue Knights because I don't
I
usually
love
have a
the
problem.
costumes. The
I love the
uniforms
cost.
are
I like the
great.
uniforms. I think the caption heads are doing all that they can with the show, but I just don't think the show is great. I don't
I,
like the show design.
I agree. I think it's one of the more bland Blue Knights shows, and it kind of makes me not want to watch it.
Yeah.
I love Blue Knights. That's the thing. Like, I hate to see that they're bottom. Watch,
Hmm.
I feel like what this might happen. Like, if Knights falls out of finals and Colts and Troopers make it in, and Crossman is out, say, um, I think next year Crossman and Knights are gonna come right back in.
I think so.
I think they're gonna be like, okay, crappy show design or whatever. Like, okay, that didn't work for us. Maybe we shouldn't have the movements of the show changing. They're gonna go back to their way they did throughout the last couple of years, and
Well, this is
boom,
the
right back
movements of
in.
the show changing just is kind of with this show in particular. It's not like any other show because it's the idea of the Mobius strip.
Uh
I keep
huh.
wanting to say the show. Mobius strip. Funny. Haha. Um, but the Mobius strip where you can start on one point of the strip and go all the way around to the other one. That's kind of what the show. That's what they're doing with the show. Which,
Yeah.
speaking of, you saw the post I sent you on Instagram, right? The two open holes. Full tour fees paid.
Yeah. We were like, yeah, maybe us two should go be those trumpet
Want to
players.
break out our trumpets? Unfortunately, I have teaching commitments.
Me
Otherwise,
too.
I would
I have two
genuinely,
programs.
dude, I would totally do it. I would totally genuinely send in tape.
You know how funny that would be? Um, you know, we were in top six cores, and then it's just like, oh, now we're in Crossman.
Hey, don't dog on Cross.
Well,
Don't dog.
I'm not
No,
saying it like that, but I'm saying
no,
like,
I know.
oh, we went from being mellophone players in top six to now being trumpet players in Crossman with full paid tour fees.
We're playing trumpet for the Crossmen for free, and I get to wear that sick, nasty uniform.
So if they're not
My one of my
filled in
students is
yet,
actually one of my students is auditioning, and I'll tell you what, he's way better musically than me.
well, maybe he'll probably get a spot then.
I hope so. I really do. I'm pulling for him. He made it to the last round of the Blue Coats audition for the trumpet hole that they have had early season, and the only reason they didn't take him was because he has no core experience and he's going in his junior
Hmm.
year in high school.
Yeah, that's silly.
That's I'm telling you, if you can play, you can play. I mean, unless
Talent's
the
talent.
dude's like, I'll tell you what, if the dude's like 12 and he's not, and his name is not Brandon Olander, then fine. But anything else, like if the kid can play, the kid can play. I mean, I
Talent is
get,
talent. Talent is talent.
but you know, I do also get that there's a whole other set of challenges you have to take with like minors.
Oh yeah, well, I
Um,
mean, drum corps is a very um.
well,
You
speaking
get
of,
to
I do
know
want to
people.
say,
You get to know
I
people well.
I was reading this over on the Drum Corps Planet forums. Apparently, George Hopkins came to DCI Austin or DCI Round Rock and DCI San Antonio. His first two shows since the whole
Like just in the
thing.
audience.
Yeah,
What happened?
the word going around is that he was there, and you know, being I don't really condone what happened with that whole situation.
Stick to
Um,
flow marching.
but yeah,
Stick
yeah,
to flow marching.
yeah. I
I'm
don't know,
surprised he didn't get like a hot dog thrown at him or something.
dude. Yeah, I just I don't even know, dude. That I just found that very eye-opening that someone
Side note.
brought that up.
Side note, Mitchell. Do you have like your first mouthpiece?
I do.
So here's mine.
Oh God.
You see how like rusty and dark that is?
Oh
Look at
yeah.
that. This used to be a silver mouthpiece.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look in the cup. It's like this was my legs in drum corps, and then like this is what my like under thighs look like.
Right.
That's what happens in drum corps, guys. If you haven't been in it, you get tan.
You get tan and you also die sometimes in pain.
Okay, let's look at some videos. We got a list here. We got cadets, devils, guardians, troopers, crest, coats, Boston, Cavies, Santa Clara Vanguard, Mandarins, and Colts. So So we have all different, no repeats today. So let's start right at the top here. Let's look at some Colts.
Oh, sorry. Sorry,
That's funny.
That set me up so perfectly.
I'm really liking Colts show now.
I'm really liking Colts show this year.
I love the theme now, and I mean, I think all of that put together like helps build their GE.
That's finals
visual
worthy
proficiency.
To me. That show is finals worthy.
Like it kind of reminds me of when Mandarins made finals.
Yeah.
It's like
2018
the same,
life right after.
You know, it's kind of like the same formula in a way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So just for Colts, and speaking of Mandarins,
I've grown to like their ballad.
This show,
yeah,
I have to. The uniforms have grown on me from at a distance.
Oh yeah,
but when I get up close, I still am iffy on them.
I kind of like them now.
I like them with the vest.
Yeah,
but if they kept it the other way,
no, I wouldn't either.
Definitely a final show.
Yeah.
Love our Mandy's.
Yes, we do.
I think I need to like go back through the episodes, or unless one of our viewers want to. Can you like count how many clips of like almost each core we've had, so we can see like who had the most clips this season? Like if it was like, because I think we've seen like 4 of Mandarins.
You know what? I'm here for it.
Boston also has a lot. No bias. I'm just saying. But,
yeah.
Santa Clara Vanguard. Mr. Neben.
Not it for me.
Symbol line.
Yeah, that's it for me. I love symbol lines. Wow, imagine just slamming your horn down stage and turnstile down style. Spacing.
So
it's a small arc.
I think
that last set.
So I need to see. I'm gonna go on this DCI stats Instagram real quick, because they have like a whole picture of like all scores and stuff, like really nicely set up. So Vanguard got 5th in visual analysis, almost fifth in everything except basically percussion. They got 1st in percussion. But they, like, their show, I guess, is just 5th place worthy. Like, that's kind of where all of their scores landed, except for percussion. So,
I don't know.
I guess it's a 5th place show.
I
agree. I agree. I think cadets should be over it, so I think it should be more of a 6th place show. But
yeah.
I think something with the cadets still need to slightly change.
I think the cleaning is going to be... I think once we hit Allentown, I think we overtake them just because I think we're going to clean the show.
Allentown.
Well, yeah.
Cadets
we're going to get a score boost in Allentown. I'm telling you, home shows do play an effect. Just a very minor one. Oh, is this...
It won't stay.
This is Cavies.
It won't stay. You're going to get a boost after Allentown, and then the judges are going to be like, oh, screw Allentown. Boop.
No. Get out of here with that. Miss me with that.
Cavies. I honestly don't hate their show. Hey, Blue Coats Rams? Everyone just reusing Blue Coats props? Knights, Crest, Cavies, question mark?
Did you see that Crest did the tilt pitch bend?
Oh yeah, they did. I was gonna get that clip.
Wait, you have it?
I was going to get it, but I forgot about it. Still not a fan of their uniforms, but
No, neither am I.
But yeah. No,
I was
what you
talking
were
to
just
the
talking
I was
about.
talking to one of the people I teach with at Westfield, and the brass caption head there was a Bluecoats in was it with the Bluecoats in 14, so he marched tilt, and he's now in the alumni corps, and they're doing they're doing the pitch bend and everything in the alumni corps.
That's cool. And then
That's kind of funny.
Then you have Crest who did it. That's so funny. Troopers.
That pitch bend is so iconic. Is this the same song used in like that beer commercial? Like Modelo? That's good.
Look at that drum roll.
Look at the crowd.
That is definitely.
You hear that yell troop?
It
at
sounded
the
like
end?
boo. That's a finals worthy show in my opinion, man.
I think so as well.
I think they're gonna creep up there. I hope so. Knock on wood, but I hope they do.
I agree.
Speaking of Pacific Crest,
The band. No, this is the opener.
I forgot to get the band.
Shame.
The chair.
Scarecrow Bird.
The chair is on the 50. Okay, well, they're not visually in time.
No.
They are sadly not visually in time.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing.
Definitely.
They need to lock in their timing, and I guarantee a couple points will get boosted right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that's just something I just noticed. I was just like, that whole little choreo.
I have a
move at the
feeling
end.
that whole horn line is very young. I have a feeling that's a very young horn line.
A bunch of high schoolers, or like right out of high school,
Right.
maybe even younger, like freshmen, possibly. I wouldn't be surprised. Blue.
This is the guitar. No, it's not the guitar. Man.
No, it's when they're getting run over. Run them over. Because Boston did that to you. Boston ran him over.
True.
Here we go.
You know, I think of it like taming a dragon. The dragon is the crazy dude, and if you don't watch out, he'll bite
Oh,
you
this is
hard.
the end of their show.
You see, Lou knows about the dragon.
I do like the
There's
trombone
straight.
stuff.
You don't try to kill the dragon. You want to make friends with it, harness its power so you can use it. I only realized that when I woke up.
The voiceover's funny.
I'll tell you what,
can't
I
even
like
think
the
it-
opening. I like the opening stuff with the trombone and tuba, and then I like the end with the trombone, and then the guitar. But outside of that, the show just isn't speaking to me.
I can't help to make fun of the voice.
I just don't like the theme. It's just not for me. I get
And
what they're
also,
going
I'm
for,
saving your best for last.
as we should.
We'll skip over Boston. We'll say best two for last. Guardians.
Guardians played Kanye in 18.
Interesting props. Trumpet.
I know someone who marched Guardians and then came up to cadets last year.
I assume they marched Guardians 19.
He actually went to Vandergrift High School.
That's your favorite school, Mitchell.
Hey, Chris is a cool dude. I have no problems. I have no beef with Chris. Chris is super cool. Chris is a homie. I love Chris.
When we get into BOA, we're gonna have to talk about your hate crime towards
Whoa.
Vandergrift.
Not my hate crime. It's more of a just not super impactful show to me.
Devils.
I love this show.
I like their props.
Come on, that Shrumpets Creamer's killing it.
Can't top Metamorph.
True. So true.
I'm just saying they shouldn't have performed Metamorph as good as they did.
Oh. I played that yesterday during music rehearsal at the band I was teaching, and the Blue Cuts guy was like, "Stop that, I'm going to bend your lead pipe shut."
Huh.
He's like, "Enough." And I'm like, "Nah, dog, this is a fantastic ballad."
Which one should I choose?
Ranked. I love this drill. I love the closer. Love company fronts, especially cadets company fronts.
I just don't like how you guys have like short sleeves.
I know.
That's my biggest thing. Is that's why I don't like
We gotta go.
the uniform.
And never stop going till we get
Never
there,
stop
man.
going till we get there, man.
What's up with all the voiceovers this year, man? And now, the best of them all.
What part of this show is this? Is this Lacrimosa?
You'll see. You can be patient.
Oh god, if it's Lacrimosa.
Our company front.
Oh, of course it's Lacrimosa.
And the funny thing is, we did that same step like last year when we were coming front in the opener of our show in Zoom. We were doing that same step basically. Where am I? Oh, I know that. Chase. I do love how they get on their knees though. I love that.
I just don't like when performers do it like that. Like, I just don't like when they like get on the ground. It's just because we never did too much of like on the ground roll stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just never been a favorite of mine, just because I've never really had to do it too much.
Oh, boo-hoo, Mitchell.
Yeah, I know.
Cry about it.
I am.
So, I mean, DCI-wise, finals bubbles closed down by a lot. We have our 4 in finals bubble. Unless somebody comes out of the blue by next week, I don't think that's changing. Or unless one of them drops dramatically, but I don't think they will.
I don't think so.
So, you know, throughout this next week, we kind of see us approaching back towards the East Coast, right? That's kind of where the shows start to head back, is back towards Allentown, basically. And then we'll center around back towards Indy the following week, basically.
Yes, sir.
And then, oh yeah, he got our tickets today for finals. I
did.
Got a wonderful email saying, "You're going to DCI World Championships."
Yes, sir.
Whoop whoop. We're debating on for prelims if we aren't going into the stadium or not. We may just be in lots all day. It was just an idea since we get to see everybody's lot basically, and kind of
Right.
saves money. We don't have to get another ticket because we're
I
gonna see
might
these
go for a
shows.
couple
I think if I do
shows.
go, it's gonna be for the last couple.
Hmm.
Um, but I do want to watch like most of them in the lot.
Especially for some cores that I have not seen as much, such as
Mm-hmm.
Devils. I haven't seen Devils in person this year yet.
Oh well, you may get to
Um,
see a fourth performance from Devils. We'll see.
exactly. I want to see all four. Um,
No.
I want to see. I want to see cadets all. I want to see all three cadets runs.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if
But
I want to see some Phantom runs.
I do know we will be definite in semis and finals, most all of that.
Oh yeah.
But prelims, we were talking about how we might most of the day be out in lots until like the last couple cores, see our home cores and Devils and how everyone's performing, how they're feeling on prelims night. Hopefully not as good as Boston.
Who knows?
Hey, I'm gonna root for my home
Oh, I
team.
would too. Trust me, I totally would too. If it was reversed, I would totally be doing that. Yeah.
But I also won't be too mad.
No, because regardless
'Cause
of which, the core is having a great season and
oh
probably one of their
yeah.
best seasons ever. So
Oh no, it is their best season ever.
exactly,
I
my
mean, the other
point.
night,
My point stands.
the other night we beat Bluecoats for the first time since like 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's a year after I was born. That's
There you
crazy.
go.
That's a long time. And then something what with I think Blue Stars and Cavies. It's like Blue
Mm-hmm.
Stars beat Cavies for the first time in however many years or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. I think that was the other one I saw. Um, but besides for that, I mean DCI is getting tighter and tighter, and we're approaching the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we get to the end of DCI, Bands of America starts up. Basically.
Yep.
Um, so let's talk BOA now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, forgive us for looking down. I'm looking at BOA Grand Nats list. I know we went over this a little bit the other day, but we have a lot of schools going to Grand Nats.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I gotta scroll down to the T's, and Tarpon Springs High School's on there, so
Tentatively,
hopefully.
hopefully, I
Um,
want to see them.
yeah, I don't see Carmel. I don't think Carmel's going.
Oh yeah, that's where Connell's not gonna show up.
Avon's going. You love Avon. Both Avons are going, so
Mm-hmm.
Ohio Avon and Ohio Indy.
Yep.
Broken Arrow says to be going. Brownsburg. Um, Centerville High School from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I think Centerville's really close to me. Actually, let me
They're about an hour away from you.
Centerville. Yeah, they're an hour and 8. They're a little outside of Dayton.
Yeah.
Then some Dobbins Bennett
Mm-hmm.
from Tennessee. We have a lot of Ohio schools going.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, you do.
Hamilton High School, um, Miamisburg, Milford, um, Mustang High School from Oklahoma.
Yes. Shark and Dinosaur Show.
Mitchell.
Hmm.
You may not understand what I'm about to say, but Newberry High School is going. It is a Florida band.
I know it's a
And
Florida band.
They always went to our outdoor music festival, and our announcer was like, "Newberry High School," and it's just the funniest thing. I would not expect them to go.
Well,
O'Fallon Township,
yep.
Prosper from Texas, Hendrickson from Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Stoneman Douglas. That's awesome to see that they're going from Florida.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and then Windermere from Florida. 1, 2,
Yes.
3, I want to see how many Florida groups there are. Can I like divide it by state?
I wish. I mean, maybe Hornrank does.
Honestly, I think Ohio has like the most amount of schools going. I see so many OHs.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, William Mason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who are we thinking is obviously guaranteed to be in finals? All the
Avon,
way
Broken Arrow, Carmel.
thinking all the way over to November.
Avon, Broken Arrow, Carmel. I think Mason's safely in.
I throw Tarpon safely in.
If Tarpon goes, yes.
I mean, with that list, it says they're going. So,
right.
Based off that list, I think Tarpon would be safe.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
I don't know if top 6, just because we've been having so many director changes.
Who knows? We'll see.
I'm
let's
just worried
see who
about
else.
that. But and also the band size has kind of gotten a little smaller. I don't know. I have to ask Isaac about the recruitment for this last year and see what the freshman class is for the incoming year. But last year it got smaller, a lot smaller. Because my class, I think, was 76 band kids piecing out. Yeah, that's a big chunk.
Yeah, it's a lot of them.
The year before, the juniors were about the same size. So, or those seniors were about the same size when we were juniors. So, we lost a lot of people.
I gotcha.
In Pinellas County, the music recruitment is very low. And we don't have one school. We have like 12 or more.
I don't like that.
Or maybe less. Like we have, just the name off the top of my head, we have Tarpon, Palm Harbor, Oldsmar, Pinellas Park, Eastlake, Clearwater. We have...
Right.
I know we have more. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I'm going to zoom in on my map and go all the way down to Pinellas County. We have Largo High School. We have St. Pete. We have Safety Harbor. Like we Dunedin. Like we have all these schools, and it's just kind of, we're a big peninsula, so there are kids that drive from Tampa all the way to Tarpon, but not many people want to do that.
No.
So, but I know from my middle school, the recruitment, was not doing so well.
I see.
From Tarpon Middle, at least the last couple of years. I don't know again about how this year is, but so that kind of worries me with Tarpon's numbers.
Yeah, well, hopefully they get back to what they usually do.
I think that regardless of the numbers we go with, will still be that small fish in a big pond, competing with the big names, because we are a big name in ourselves. I know the two schools I work with, the directors know Tarpon very well.
Right.
And when they saw that I was from Tarpon, they were like, "Oh, sweet, awesome." And it's funny because with Licking Heights, I'm what you consider the visual caption head for them, visual instructor. I help with drill rehearsals and help with altering drill if it needs to happen, and writing choreography, visual block, everything like that. But it's funny because this band really, I love Licking Heights. It's a beautiful high school. Love all the students there. Love the staff. I'm very happy I get to work with that school. But it's so funny because as soon as I was talking choreography with her, she's like, "Diet Tarpon." Diet. Diet Tarpon.
That's lovely.
Just because with Tarpon, we go crazy with our choreo.
Oh, yeah.
We go on the ground, we're rolling, we're, on our knees, we are jumping, we are lifting our bodies and stomping. Like, we are going insane. But, obviously with my visual writing, I have some Tarpon tendencies because that's where I came from. But I told her, I'm like, listen, I get it. So, I'm not going to kill these kids their first year that, they have actual, like, choreo. So,
Right.
My stretch routine I wrote for them is fundamentals. Like, this year, let's focus on this. And then next year, stretch routine will get a little harder.
Right.
Because, like, when you go to a school, and say you plan to be there for a long time, and you plan to be there for a couple years, and you want to introduce new things, and that's kind of, where I come into play with this program is, I want to introduce these new definitions and new choreo, and you gotta take the first year, introduce it, get at least 3 of these years comfortable, the seniors will go, and then you have 3 groups that, like, 3 classes that know what you're doing, and then they just teach the freshmen, then boom, you're good. And then now you get into that cycle of, now this definition will stay. Just the first year is always the hardest because, none of them have done it. But then the second year, it's like, oh, well, 3/4 of you have done it, so awesome. But I don't even know what I was talking about at first. I don't. I went right into Looking Heights. I had a point, but I'm not
I'm
sure.
sure it'll come back to you.
It might come back to me. I think I was saying something about Tarpon.
Yeah.
I think, was it still about the numbers?
I think so.
Oh.
Either
I have
way,
no clue.
let's talk about these other places too. Let's talk about these other regionals as well. I know I'm gonna be at Louisville, because the band that I'm teaching, Westfield, is going, and I will be with them, and my brother and Karma will be going there, looking to possibly bring home another regional championship, which we'll see what happens. But we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to them. I went to their rehearsal last night. They sound pretty good right now, from what I could have gathered. But yeah, they're doing really well from what I can tell.
I'm excited to see Bands of America this year because now that we're like fully out of it, I guess. With how cores are closing down rehearsals and everything right now, I don't know if I can really say fully out of COVID now.
Right.
But hopefully, it being a normal season, normal full season,
Right.
with almost everybody normally going back, it will be interesting. Just like with drum corps, how is finals gonna look? Like, who's gonna be in it? Who's not gonna be in it? How are these like super regionals and regionals gonna go? And
right.
it will be interesting to see. Obviously, high schools, most of them only do like 1 to maybe 3, maybe more. I don't see any high school really doing like 8 of them. It's
No.
like a drum corps. Like, you don't have that much time off from school. Sorry.
No. Wish.
Yeah, I wish. But sadly, no. But it will be interesting. I can't wait to. Pardon me. I can't wait to dive more into that as we get into the season. But those big names, I'm very interested to see how Bands of America is going to go this year.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm very intrigued with. I hope Tarpon goes to Indy. We haven't gone since 2018.
Yeah.
It's been about 4 years.
Yeah.
19 was Revolution Remix. We didn't go. I'm wearing the second shirt for that right now. 2020 obviously didn't go. And then 21 we were going to, but then we went to Tennessee instead. So I mean, Tennessee's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
they were supposed to go to Indy, and we were going to go to Indy in 2020, but obviously, Music for All and BOA, they were all like, nope.
Yeah.
DCI did it, and then as soon as we approached the fall season, they're like, ha, you thought, not happening. Sorry.
Right.
And that happened with a couple show choir circuits as well, and
Mm-hmm.
it just, that year kind of sucked. But then 2021, stuff opened up, but Tarpon didn't
Right.
go to Indy. I think it was more of a funding thing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we have the Macy's Day Parade.
Right, which I will be at.
Carmel and Tarpon will be at Macy's this year.
And Bourbon County from Kentucky, and
Mhm.
Vandergrift High School from down in Texas.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that, Mitchell. Let's talk about Vandergrift real quick. Yeah, we'll probably both be in Macy's. That's the plan.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll have to figure it out.
Well, because I still have a vacation I get to take from work. All of these
True.
events, I'm
True.
using personal days. That's
Mhm.
what my supervisor said. So I could take my week vacation for New York. Look at that.
All right, there you go.
I have to use it by the end of the year anyway.
Yeah, you might as well.
But let's talk about this, Mitchell. Why do you hate Vandergrift?
I don't hate them, dude. I don't. Their show didn't really speak to me.
What year are we
as-
talking?
We're talking
Year-
19.
The year you got 5th place?
4th place, by the way.
4th place.
But,
So you know how Tarpon felt than Pandora then. You thought you guys would never see below 3rd.
I anticipated top 3 still. I knew we weren't winning because there's no way we win 4 because then everyone would say, "Oh, it's rigged. It's rigged."
Well,
not,
it is rigged.
It's not rigged. It is not rigged, and I will tell you
it's
exactly.
as rigged as how much money we get from Disney at Tarpon.
True. A buttload.
We don't.
I'm joking.
We're not sponsored by Disney.
Good old BOA memes. Back at it again. I just
Listen,
didn't
Mitchell,
really.
you just got Carmel could not compete with those Texas bands.
We were a very large and a very young group, and our time is. I had my time in the spotlight, and I loved it. It was great. It was great. It was cool.
Broken
But,
Arrow better come to finals this year. They are the defending champions.
Broken Arrow's gonna come. Broken
You
Arrow's
gotta
coming.
defend it. You have to.
I feel like
You
it's kind
have
of like an
to.
unspoken thing.
Like if you won, you need to come back. But when Tarpon
That's why I
2015,
feel.
like 2015, like we were like, bye. Like we could have won with Cage. Like I think Cage could have won. Like Cage was a good show, and I think I heard something that we were invited to go, and people would
Really?
basically pay half of the group's fees because they wanted Tarpon back. It may not be true, but that's what I've heard throughout my years at Tarpon. That like it was offered, but it just wasn't brought.
I'll tell you what. I don't think. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah. I feel like it's kind of an undiscussed, like unspoken kind of rule that if you win, you gotta come back to defend your championship,
Yeah,
defend your title.
I
mean,
guess
of course,
Tarpon defended it.
I mean, money definitely is a big thing.
I mean,
And I honestly, I feel like that's honestly because we haven't seen Texas win up until like 19 for a little bit.
mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of, trust me, I do get how much money it is to bring a band in that, especially all the way from Texas, but like,
Or Florida.
right, exactly. My point still stands though, but it's like, come on, if you're going to go win and then just go back down to wherever and just
The thing is,
not,
like, when your program wins, like, in reality, your organization ends up getting some money from that. Like,
Mhm.
whether it's by just donations and all that, sponsors, everything, like,
Mhm.
you get your name out there.
Mhm.
And I think Pandora would have went different if Tarpon went in 2015. I
who
think
knows?
we come off a Man vs. Machine with a win. Caged first or second place show. And Pandora, I think, would have been up there. Because, again, it wasn't a terrible show. Pandora was a great
No,
show.
It wasn't a bad show. I didn't have
But
anything
then if
wrong
we
with
brought
it.
Madness or Revolution Remix, we would not have made finals. And
You
if
would have
we
made
did,
finals.
we would be like bottom 10. Like, there's no way Madness would place above a 10.
And just the shows in 17 that came.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm just saying, Serenity was kind of fire.
Like, and
Serenity,
then again,
brass
with
feature in the
Revolution
closer.
Remix, like, no. Revolution Remix wouldn't either.
No, why
It's
not?
just, we had a trumpet screamer, great, but like,
That's like
I'm
not
just
even
saying,
half a
we
point.
would not have won if Broken Arrow came all the way down to Florida
Yeehaw.
to Orlando.
To
We're
yeehaw
the top dog in Florida. Why would you come all the way from Oklahoma to Florida?
They wanted to go to Disney.
And they were like, let's just beat you out.
Let's just
With
give you the good old.
yeehaw.
We'll just give you the good old yeehaw.
Yeah, with Yeehaw and beat out Revolution Remix. And literally, Ford's like only goal, it felt like, was we need to win. Like, we just need to win. This is our only regional this year. Since we do it every other year with Indy, we need to win. And then COVID happened and everything. So then we didn't get another regional for 2 years. Like, that's rough. That is rough.
In the words of Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's rough, buddy. Oh god, I'm looking forward to the season though. This should be a good season.
It will be a good season. But with that being said, I kind of want to talk about our programs. I've already touched on Licking Heights a little bit, but we'll dive kind of into our music jobs currently. So this week I'm actually working with another school called Bloom Carroll High School. I'm their mellophone technician. Just for this week for band camp. As of right now, I may end up getting to go like once a week if he like fits me into schedule to where I don't miss my main program's rehearsal, just to help mellows. But it's funny, this week I've kind of added visual responsibilities. I was up in the press box a lot today, and I was doing a lot of drill stuff and sequential stuff, and I told him, like, I know visual, like, I love my visual, I love writing choreo, I love doodling on paper, just little mini drill charts, and anything visual, I love it. Maybe even more so than I do writing certain things in music. Mm-hmm. Like, I love visual. I don't know what it is, but I love it. And I didn't understand that I loved it so much until after I was a dance captain for show choir, and after I was offered the head, like, visual caption head spot at Licking Heights. So I mean, this week I'm just basically helping out the mellows. I'll be getting there at 7:20 in the morning today because I missed the bus to go to the rehearsal site since the field's getting renovated. They're getting turf.
Oh.
So they have to rehearse at another high school. So I missed the bus. As soon as I pulled into the school, they were pulling out, and I'm like,
dang.
Guess I'll see them in 15 minutes. And so I just drove behind the bus. But with Licking Heights, also Bloom Carroll, very small, pretty school on the outside. They're like renovating on the inside, so they're like fixing a lot of things. But Licking Heights, I said earlier, beautiful school. They just got like this new like pit thing for their blacktop, because if I'll have to take kind of like a picture of the field for you.
Yeah.
Because the field there, Mitchell, like, you look around, you're surrounded by cornfields. That is Ohio right there. That is Ohio marching band.
Right.
And they have this really cool, I've never seen it done this way, like the press box. You either have stands, scaffolding like what we had at Tarpon for our practice field, like a metal tower like what Bloom has at this other, like, Liberty Union High School that we're rehearsing at right now. Mm-hmm. This is like crates, like boat crates, like shipping crates. Like, it's a big one.
Oh yeah.
Then a half size one, and then a quarter size one. And you have 3 sets of stairs you have to climb up. And it's so tall. And I'm like, when I got up there the other day and I was doing like choreo up there, like kind of like writing some stuff out, I was like, dang, this is scary. I'd rather be in bleachers. Like, this is kind of like, this is so tall. It's just, but I really do like Licking Heights in Bloom. Obviously, I love Licking Heights just because I've been there a lot more.
Yeah.
And the staff there is just, love the staff. They're very cool. They're very welcoming. And they're kind of, they welcome me with open arms. They're like, listen, visual's all yours.
Yeah.
Do what you want. And I'm like, fine by me. I
There you
love doing visual, so I'm gonna do it. And she's like, listen, anytime in the drill where they are standing still, you can write anything you want. And on the move, if there's something you want to write, do it. And also, I want you to, kind of up in the box, helping clean drill and this and that, and running fundamentals block. And so, honestly, I didn't expect that.
Right.
I expected just kind of be hired as a visual tech, but not like the visual guy. The Johnny Zolo of Tarpon, equivalent. Like, it's
Right.
It was. I was very happy when I got offered it, but so far it's going great, and I'm, excited to go through the rest of the season.
Good.
But talk about Westfield.
So yeah, I'm with Westfield, in Westfield, Indiana, and I'm their high brass, main high brass tech, and their mellophone or their visual, like kind of help out with visual as well. Um, we're doing pretty well. We're doing our 8 to 5s right now, for this
Band
week.
camp. Whoop, whoop.
Band camp, waking up at 7:15 in the morning. I
Yeah,
love
I have
it.
band camp Bloom this week, and then Licking next week, and technically, Licking having another week. Like, this is their first week right now, but I'm doing Bloom this week.
hmm
So yesterday, again, I got off of work 3 hours early, so I went to Licking for 3 hours.
Right.
I wasn't even supposed to be there,
hmm
and then I went to Bloom. So
Yeah.
8 to 5.
Yeah, 8 to 5s are long. But I'm really having a good time so far. They're going to BOA Louisville and BOA Indy Super, so I'll get a couple chances to go out and see them.
Maybe I'll go BOA Indy Super.
You should definitely go to Louisville,
Indy Super's closer.
but Louisville,
But Indy Super's closer. You pay
But-
my gas down to Louisville.
I mean,
I also
or
don't-
you could just, I mean, hey, in theory, you could just drive down to Lexington and then I can drive out in my car. We can drive out together.
We'll see.
We'll figure it out, but I'm just saying. Um,
We'll see. That's a conversation off podcast.
Yes, most definitely. But I'm really excited to take those kids to, because I think they're going to turn a lot of heads. Their program's really solid in WGI and winds, guard, and percussion. So, they have a good foundation, and they were the Scholastic A champions last year, which is not our open class where Carmel and Avon are, but the class below for the smaller bands. And they're right on the edge of open and Scholastic this year, so we're waiting until the very last second to see, hey, can this group? We're gonna only go up to open class this year if we think we can, if we think we have a really good shot at making state finals for open class. If not, we'll just stay in Scholastic class another year and then make the hop up next year. But either way, we're not rushed. We're not pressured to do either or. And that's the beauty of it.
You talked to the director over there, seeing if I can become a tech for that 3 days.
Bro. I don't know, dude.
I'll run drill rehearsal. I'll do it.
Help me clean drill.
The funniest thing is, you guys don't see before the recording. He jumped onto the call, and I was screen sharing drill. I was writing choreo to. It was just he's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It's part 1 of their show." And he's like, "I want to listen." That's how you're just a music geek. Like,
I want to hear it.
I want to hear it. Let me hear it.
How are they doing?
How are they doing? I know it's your program, but I want to hear it. um, but honestly, we've kind of covered everything today.
Yeah.
Next week, for DCI wise, let me look at the schedule. I want to see kind of big name shows that we may be getting into. We have Little Rock on the 27th, Hadesburg 27th, Trussville 29th, Sheffield 29th, Murfreesboro 29th, Normal, whatever you want to, however it's pronounced, July 30th, July 30th Atlanta, July 30th White Lake, and I'm trying to make sure I don't go past the next week's episode, because that will be covered next week or the week after. So all the way up to the 2nd will get covered mostly. Well, mainly the 1st. And then we have Winston-Salem, the 31st.
Night beat.
Heck yeah. And then August 1st, Huntington, Sun Prairie, August 1st as well. And then, and I hate these names. I am butchering these. Annapolis?
Annapolis, yeah.
Annapolis. Just forgetting the Indy there. That's on the 2nd. So those are that's building up to the 2nd. There may be another one on the 2nd, but let me see. No, that's the partners. Move me up. Oh, well, it's because I'm clicked on. That's why. Hold on. Come on. Go to the
And then
next
we
page.
turn to Allentown, and then we turn west to get out to Indy.
Yeah. So, yeah, all the way up to Salem and Lima, Ohio, as well, and Seversville, all on the 2nd as well, with Annapolis. Don't know how many of those scores we'll get while we're recording that night, but we may get a few. But then pushing towards the podcast the week of finals on Wednesday that week, we'll have Apple Valley, we'll have Centerville, we'll have Allentown, we'll have
There's gonna be a lot of content that
Portage,
week.
we'll have Cedar Rapids, Allentown again, Charleston, Avon Lake, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Marion, Edinboro, Akron, which I'll be going to Akron, and then that's the Monday. The 9th is Tuesday, so then Marion, and then we'll record that night. Wednesday it will be posted. Then, boom, we're in Indy, and we'll have our nightly post there and then finals will get posted probably the Tuesday after finals, roughly, latest by that, because Mitchell has to move in, and
Yes, sir.
and I have to drive from Indy to Ohio and go to work. But yeah, and then T-shirt orders end on that Sunday.
There we go.
So don't forget about that. But besides for that, that's all we have today. That's kind of a rough sketch of what the next 2 episodes will be, and then we'll have the closing 3, right? So we have 5 more episodes this season. We got next week, the week of Indy, and then semis, prelim, semis, and finals. And then BOA.
Yes, sir.
Right after. Yeah, we'll probably wait to post BOAs the week, not the same week of the finals one. It will probably be posted the following Wednesday, so it'll probably be more than 7 days. That usual will probably be 8 or 9. But that's fine because BOA hasn't really started just yet, so we'll kind of get an extra 2-day break, I guess. But besides for that, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you're keeping up to date on the social medias. Make sure you're following and subscribed to everything, to the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, the Facebook page. Keep the website, in your phone, check on it, make sure there's nothing new on there. I may kind of throw a clip on there at some point, but we'll see. Make sure you fill out the arts community form if you want to become a guest on the show, or even want to become a host for the other podcast for the arts, or even on this one. We're open to having more hosts, so don't worry. We had a podcast before with what, five hosts? But we had you, me, Owen, Miles, Isaac, and Jalen. Yeah, so 6. Yeah, we had a lot. And then we'd have a guest on top of that, so we had like 7 people.
Yes, we did.
And the thing with that podcast is people got a break. It'd be like 2 people would be off, 2 people would be off. So we would love to do that again, just to, give certain people a break. But we're also not doing it every day, too. We have to think about that.
True.
But no, the more the merrier. I can have 100 people in this call and I'll be fine. So I don't want 100 hosts, but
no, God, no.
I think max like 5.
That's enough.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and that's it. So
all right.
Catch us next week, and we're gonna have a lot of content next week as well, and then the week after, even more, and then that whole week is indie, and that's gonna be a busy week. So it'll be interesting, but nonetheless, that's it. Catch you next week, guys. Peace out.